Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. Today we have another installment of my Cryptic Crossword Apprentice class, which is my own journey as a cryptic crossword solver. I'm still very much a beginner, so I can't do a cryptic crossword master class like the good folks over at Cracking the Cryptic, Mark and Simon. That's a channel I enjoy watching and that I watch regularly in order to get better at cryptic crosswords. So I'm just going to go through this puzzle. I will make a lot of mistakes. I will probably need to use some hints, but by doing this every week, I'm getting a little bit better at cryptic crosswords. This is the Weekender Cryptic from the Globe and Mail, a Canadian publication. Fraser Simpson is the constructor for all of these. The weekday cryptic crosswords in the Globe and Mail, despite being a Canadian publication, they take those directly from the Times of London. So they use UK English. It's the quick cryptic, which is the easy cryptic in the Times, and then a few weeks later it appears in the Canadian publication Globe and Mail. However, on the Saturdays, Fraser Simpson creates a cryptic crossword using Canadian English and geared toward a Canadian audience. That's the puzzle we've got today. So this appeared on Saturday, April the 18th. I'll probably post it later in the week, but Saturday is when I'm solving this. And let's see what we've got. I'm going to give myself about 20 minutes to go through all the acrosses, all the downs, and then fill in as much as I can from crossing letters. If I don't have anything at about the 20-minute mark, I'll use 3 hints. I'll allow myself 3 single-letter hints. And then if I still can't figure out, I'll just begin to reveal entire words and then try and learn the wordplay from those. And typically there will be quite a few things I have to reveal. Okay, one across is upright nanny, perhaps, eats horrible slop. And if you're new to cryptics, we need to split the clue somewhere. So into 2 parts. One side, we don't know which side, but one side will be a definition, a crossword definition, so either a synonym or an example. The other side will be wordplay that generates the same set of letters. Upright nanny, perhaps, eats horrible slop. I don't know what this is, but my guess is that we split the clue after upright. Upright will be our definition. Then we need nanny, perhaps, which probably isn't the word nanny, but it could be goat. It could be maid, some kind of synonym for nanny. Nanny, perhaps. I like goat, actually. And then that will be eating horrible slop. It will be eating, I think horrible is an anagram indicator here. So we anagram the letters in slop. And then whatever word we choose for nanny will eat that slop. We will insert those 4 letters into that word. So we need a 4-letter word for nanny and a 4-letter, and then we'll insert the letters slop in some order, not in SLOP order, but we'll make them horrible. So upright, a goalpost, yes, that gives us goat. So goat is a nanny, perhaps. It is eating the letters in slop, but we anagram them, so we get A-L, no. We put the O here. It's goat, like this. That's goat. Then we insert the letters in slop. We get L-P-O-S. So that's slop anagrammed inside goat, and that is the answer. And upright is a goalpost, I think, in American football, probably in rugby as well. 5 across, or Canadian. This would be Canadian football. I'm predisposed to think of rugby and cricket from doing British cryptics. 5 across, profanity without any benefit. Profanity without any benefit. So if we take the letters A-N-Y out of profanity, we get P-R-O-F-I-T, which gives us profit, and that is a synonym of benefit. 9 across, cleaning tools outside at hospital lavatories. Outside could tell us to take the outside of a word, the first and last letters. TS for tools outside. At hospital. Hospital can be abbreviated as H on a map, so hospital typically refers to a single letter H. lavatories. Is it like washrooms or restrooms or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. 11 across is selected 100 stockings. Numbers often refer to Roman numerals, so a 100 would be C. Yes, so we split the clue after selected. 100 is the Roman numeral C. Stockings are hose, and we get chose, which is a synonym of selected. 12 across is one way to pay Cusco's builders by end of March. And the 2 and the 4 after the clue indicate we're looking for a two-word phrase, which is 2 letters and 4 letters. So you can pay in cash or something like that. And Cusco's builders are the Incas. So we split the clue after pay, one way to pay. Cusco's builders are Incas. And put that next to or by the end of March, the last letter of March, H, we get in cash, and that is one way to pay. 13 across, is that guy in rock group kicked out? Is that guy? There's a question mark, which means the rules may not be followed here. The whole thing might be both definition and wordplay, or just kind of a jokey definition. Rock group might be like igneous or sedimentary, some kind of rock. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll come back to that one. 15 across, forestalls public relations attractions. Forestalls. Okay, public relations is PR, which gave me the hint to get this one going. Attractions could be prevents or events. Attractions are events. PR before events, we get prevents, which is a synonym for forestalls. 16 across, Sierra Club founder returned drink containing piece of insect. You don't usually need to know names of people, but sometimes you do. So Sierra Club founder returned might mean to take the name of the founder of the Sierra Club and spell it backwards. Returned might be a reversal indicator. However, Sierra is S in the NATO phonetic alphabet. So Sierra could be S, club founder, returned, piece of insect. Yeah, I don't even know which side is the definition. 19 across, I refuse to follow Arkansas River. I refuse, or refuse. Refuse is trash. Arkansas, the state abbreviation for Arkansas is AR. I don't know. 20 across, I supply back 9 with tip from expert. I can't get it out of my head. So in 2 words, 4 letters and 4 letters. I can't get it out of my head. Earworm. Looking at possible wordplay. Tip from expert could be E, the first letter of expert. Back 9. We spell back 9. We spell 9 backwards, and add an E as the tip from expert. I supply. Nope. 23 across. Will is never reaching the end in intimate vampire romance. Will is never reaching the end in intimate vampire romance. Intimate could be a synonym of hint, or looking for short words that could be synonyms of some of these. Vampire, a vampire bat. Hint bat, does that give us romance? Nope. 24 across, secure outside university, stop responding. University is probably a single letter U. So if we need 6 letters, if we had a 5-letter word for secure and put that around a single letter U, would we get a 2-word phrase that means stop responding? Nope. Bit of news included in material about kidneys. About kidneys is renal, I think. About kidneys meaning referring to kidneys. Like renal failure is failure of your kidneys. So how do I get renal? Material has AL at the end. Bit of news. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that. 28 across. A sacred image gripped by tense Chinese space station visitor. The A probably needs to be a letter A. Otherwise, you could just phrase the clue as sacred image gripped by tense. So I think sacred image might be an icon. So we have a letter A, and then we have an icon that is gripped by a synonym of tense. And then we could add Chinese can be Han, H-A-N. Is there a Chinese space station? The whole thing might mean visitor. A 9-letter word for visitor, or a 9-letter word for space station visitor. Astronaut. Does that fit? A sacred image gripped by tense. Chinese. Tense can be a grammatical tense. Tense is taught, T-A-U-T. Sacred image, yeah, I think that's, I don't think astronaut is right, although I see elements that might fit. 29 across is in the middle of Rhode Island, covered in excrement. In the middle of. So if we have RI, that's the abbreviation for Rhode Island. Cover that in a 4-letter word for excrement. Do we get in the middle of? A phrase that means in the middle of, or a word that means in the middle of. During. So dung. Dung is excrement. It is covering Rhode Island, RI, we get during, in the middle of. 30 across, makes darker topic for a sermon incorporating hell. Makes darker, sounds like the definition, doesn't it? So 6 letters and 2 letters, makes darker, like fills in or something. Topic for a sermon could be sin, incorporating hell. Does that give us fill? Topic for a sermon. Okay, so we topic for a sermon could be sin, incorporating hell. We still need we need 8 letters total. If sin is the topic for a sermon, it needs to incorporate a 5-letter word for hell. Hades, shades in. Yeah, you shade something in to make it darker. Shades in, and it is sin incorporating Hades. There we go. 1 down. Almost lose the ability to see grotesque creature. A grotesque creature is a gargoyle. Almost lose the ability to see. I was going to say go blind, but almost part of that. But it's just only a single word. I don't know what it is. Almost lose. No. 2 down. Extreme characters with the heartless, cold Nahuatl speaker. Nahuatl is an Aztec language. So I figured out the definition, I think, just from that. So extreme characters are A and Z, the first and last characters of the alphabet. With the heartless, TE is the word the with its heart removed, center letter, and then cold might be an abbreviation as C might be an abbreviation for cold, like on a water faucet. 3 down, Papa recalled wish about Hawaii's capital ceased to exist. Papa is the phonetic alphabet name for P, so I think P is Papa. That's already in. Then we have recalled, could be a reversal indicator, a word for wish that is spelled backwards. Put that about Hawaii's capital, which I don't think is Oahu here. I think it is or Honolulu. I think it is an H, the capital letter of Hawaii. Perished is ceased to exist. So I can't quite figure out the wordplay, but I think that Papa is this P. Recalled wish about Hawaii's capital. Desire. So desire is a synonym for wish. It is recalled. It is spelled backwards or upside down in this case. So desire goes around H, the capital letter in Hawaii, and we get a synonym for ceased to exist. 4 down, display pelt shifted forward 3 places. Display is to show. Pelt shifted forward 3 places. I think maybe we have a 3-letter word for pelt, and we shift each letter forward 3 places in the alphabet. So H would be, I'm really bad at these kinds of things. I'm not confident about that. And I'd need to write down the letters in order to do my 3 places thing. 6 down, drawback 50% of recent Persian Gulf commodity. Drawback, recede. 50% of recent could be the letters REC, half of the word recent. Persian Gulf commodity is oil. Okay, so it is not recede, but recoil means drawback. 7 down, eccentric hopefuls guarding Toronto's last cheap hotel. Eccentric is probably an anagram indicator for hopefuls. That is 8 letters. So the letters in hopeful are guarding the last letter of Toronto, and we get a word for cheap hotel, which is a flop house. So I think that is an anagram of hopefuls going around an O, the last letter of Toronto. Roosevelt at that site hosting Oscar party. Roosevelt is Theodore. Okay, I think we split the clue after Roosevelt. At that site there, hosting Oscar, which is the letter O in the NATO phonetic alphabet. A party is a do. So I think we have there, it is hosting Oscar and a synonym for party, do, and we get Theodore, the first name of Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, we're almost done with the downs. I'm almost out of time here. 10 down is suddenly surprised winter vehicle is transporting pastry. Don't know. 14 down, she had to suspect actor's photo. Actor's photo is a headshot. She had to is suspect. Suspect is an anagram indicator here. We get headshot, which is an actor's photo. 15 down, author at military address embracing one type of retiree. Military address, APO in the U.S. is a military post office. Yeah, I don't know. 17 down, shabby tread with repeated use. Shabby could be an anagram indicator. Tread with, nope. 18 down, Spooner says, stuff as much as you can in strong wallet. Okay, Spooner is a reference to a spoonerism. He was some kind of clergyman in the UK who mixed up his letters. Instead of saying, may I show you to a seat, he would say, may I sew you to a sheet. So in addition to whatever wordplay we've got going on, we need to switch the first letters of two words or something like that. Stuff as much as you can in strong wallet. I don't know what it is. It's going to be more difficult. 21 down, orchestra member tucked into ravioli noodles. And I feel like noodles is the well, I was going to say noodles is the definition. We take a name of an instrument, an orchestra member, and we tuck it into a synonym for ravioli. But maybe member can be an arm or leg, so that's a nice short word. So if we took the letters ARM or LEG and tucked them into ravioli noodles, would we get a word for orchestra? And I don't know. 22 down, almost out of time here. Perfect lad eating pile of chips. Auntie is a pile of chips. Perfect or perfect. Maybe we're looking for a synonym for perfect, like work on or something like that. Lad could be boy. Son. Nope, I don't know. 25 down, signifies wealth. So with only two words in the clue, we probably need a synonym for signifies and a synonym for wealth. Signs, signifies, means, yeah, ways and means, or I have the means to do it, I have the wealth to do it, and means is a synonym for signifies. 26 down, reportedly go quickly, up in the air. Reportedly is probably a homophone indicator. Go quickly, rush. Up in the air, is that rush? We need a homophone of rush. Dash. Go quickly. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, we've looked at all the clues once. Let's see where we've got some crossing letters. I'm going to give myself another minute or two before I use my 3 hints. Cleaning tools. Lavatories are bathrooms. Cleaning tools, outside. At, hospital, H. Brooms are cleaning tools. They go outside, AT and H, and we get bathrooms. Grotesque creature is a goblin. I do much better just trying to figure out what words fit and then try and do the wordplay. It is go blind. We take the phrase go blind, but almost all of that phrase, we remove the D and we get the single word goblin. So yeah, I was thinking it is a 2-word phrase, but we turn it into a single word goblin. I think this is show. I don't understand the wordplay unless I'd have to write it down. And I think we're shifting letters by 3 places. 10 down, can I get that? Suddenly surprised. Winter vehicle is transporting pastry. Yes, we sled and include the word for a pastry. Startled. Pastry is a tart. So sled is transporting tart to get suddenly surprised. Banished means kicked out. Is, that guy, he, in the word band, rock group. I think that's right. 16 across, Sierra Club founder. Sierra, returned drink. Rum? A drink could be rum, spelled backwards, returned. Piece of insect. Well, James Muir was a Sierra Club founder, I think. So we take returned drink, which is rum, spelled backwards. It is containing the letter I, a piece of the word insect. I think that's James Muir, the Sierra Club founder. 20 across, I supply back 9 with tip from expert. I can't get it out of my head. Tip from expert. I think that's the letter E. What is something you can't get out of your head? An idée fixe. I supply. back 9. Oh, IX is the Roman numeral 9. I, supply back, fed. Oh, we need 2 Ds. Okay. Feed is supply. We spell it backwards. Supply back. The Roman numeral 9. And the tip from expert is this letter E, with I representing itself, the letter I. We get an idée fixe, a fixed idea, which is something you can't get out of your head. Thank you, down. I don't know. 23 across. Will is never reaching the end. An intimate vampire. Romance. Not sure. 24 across. Secure outside university. Stop responding. Clam up. I want to put a U in it for university. Yeah, secure is to clamp. We put that around U for university. We get a word for stop responding, or a phrase for stop responding. Clam up. Perfect lad eating pile of chips. Perfect, maybe. Can't quite get that. So it's not astronaut. Tense. So the U.S. space program uses astronaut. The Russian space program uses cosmonaut. Is there a Chinese equivalent? I think that may be what this is. Tense is taught. It is gripping a sacred image, icon. Icon can also be spelled with a K. And that could give us taikonaut. Maybe a taikonaut is a Chinese space station visitor, a Chinese astronaut. I like a K if that's what it is. And I'm not at all confident about that, just based on the wordplay. I've never heard that word before. But taikonaut might be the equivalent of a cosmonaut. Okay, don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. Okay, so where can I use my 3 hints? I'm going to use this one. These are single letter hints. Reveal letter. Reveal letter. And maybe here or here. I like beginning letters are more helpful to me. Okay, does that help with anything? Shabby tread with repeated use. Will is never reaching the end. An intimate vampire romance. I think romance is our definition here, but I just have no clue about that. I'm going to try renal. I don't understand. Bit of news could be the letter N. Oh, if something is material, it is concrete. It is real. So material is a synonym of real. We include a bit of news, the first letter in news, N, and we get something that describes about kidneys, renal. One type of retiree is a pensioner. To author something is to pen it. Pen at military address. Sir could be military address. Embracing one, O-N-E. We get pensioner. Okay. I refuse to follow Arkansas River. It's probably the name of a river in Arkansas or something. I refuse to follow. Nope. I feel like I don't have enough letters. I think I need a short synonym of refuse or refuse. Put that after ARR for Arkansas and river abbreviated as R. Or put it after ARCA or AR and we get a synonym for river, a name of a river. There is an R, no river. I refuse, no. It follows Arkansas. Okay, I did figure it out. So I refuse is no. I was stuck on, we'd have to include the letter I. I refuse, no. That follows Arkansas, AR, and we get Arno, which is a river, I think, in Italy. With repeated use. With can be the letter W. Maybe we repeat W, so we have weathered. Well, then Arno is wrong. And it wouldn't fit anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Can I get 21 down? Orchestra. Remember, violin. Well, tucked into can mean ate. I tucked into my food. I think it's violin. Ravioli. Ravioli noodles. Look at the words ravioli noodles. Tucked in those letters is a string of letters VIOLIN, and that's an orchestra member. Okay, I always have trouble with that kind of clue. I'm not going to get this. To go quickly. Up in the air. High. Okay, high, H-I-E, means to go quickly. That is a homophone of high, H-I-G-H, which is a synonym of up in the air. Billfold. So would Spooner say fill bold? Stuff as much as you can. Fill. Bold could be strong. But then, and if Spooner is going to say stuff as much as you can in strong, he might say billfold instead of fill bold. Or is it the other way around? I think it's going to be billfold. And I'm not sure of the wordplay there. Pile of chips. Perfect is spot on. That is sun. A lad. He is eating pile of chips. O-T-O? Or the pot. The pot is the ante in a poker game. So the pile of chips would be the pot. Sun is going around. It is eating pot. Okay, so we just got these two, which I'm not going to get. I'm going to reveal these. Let's see, 17 down. That's shabby tread with repeated use. I think shabby is an anagram indicator, and maybe we're looking for an anagram of tread, maybe with two W's in it. Reveal word tattered. Shabby is tattered. Tread with repeated use, maybe with repeated, well, I was going to say repeated use. Maybe we're anagramming tread, but we're repeating some of the letters. There are repeats. I'm not sure about that one. That's one that I had to reveal the entire word. Will is never reaching the end. An intimate vampire romance. Yeah, I don't know this one. Assist. Reveal word. Twilight. Okay, so half hour, 2 words I had to reveal, and I had to use 3 hints. Okay, Twilight is vampire romance, or maybe intimate vampire romance. Will is never reaching the end, so W-I-L-L, but not the end, so W-I-L. It is intimate. I guess if you have an intimate friend, you're tight with that friend. Yeah, me and him were really tight. Okay, so intimate, I think, is a synonym of tight. It goes around will, but not the end of will. So just W-I-L. And we get Twilight, which is a vampire romance. Okay, did not figure that one. I don't understand. Shabby is tattered. I see we've got... Tattered could also mean with repeated use. And I see we've got the letters from tread in here, so I feel like we need an anagram indicator of tread. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Okay, I think, and I don't understand billfold. I think that is fill bold, but spoonerized, so that we're swapping the first letters of each word. Although the syntax doesn't quite make sense. Stuff as much as you can in strong. That would be fill in bold, but there's no anagram indicator. Yeah, I'm not quite getting that one. And then I'm not quite getting show as display. I understand that, but then pelt shifted forward 3 places. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So this would be an E. And I don't know. I think maybe we're shifting letters. Let me know in the comments if you can figure it out. Okay, but that's not bad. That's a pretty strong showing. I find the Weekender Cryptic to be a little bit more difficult than the Quick Cryptic that they have on the weekdays, which is understandable. The Quick Cryptic is a puzzle that Mark and Simon do in probably 2 minutes or so. They do it as a little palate cleanser at the end of their video. It takes me about 30 minutes, and I usually have to use some hints. So today we did 32 minutes for the Weekender, not the Quick Cryptic, but the Weekender, which is meant to be like a real crossword puzzle. It is also meant to be Canadian focused. So did we have anything in here? Oh, taikonaut. Yeah, I got to comment on that. Taikonaut, I think, is a Chinese astronaut. Taiko might be the Chinese word for space or something, but they're using the Greek "not" suffix just to fit in with astronaut and cosmonaut. I like that. So that's a new word for me. And Arno, I think, is right. I think that's a river in Italy. And James Muir. It is not. I won't say it never happens, but it is. If you see something that you think might be the name of a person, it's probably not that name. It's probably something else. But sometimes it is the name, as it was in this case. James Muir, founder of the Sierra Club. All right, that was a really good one. I will include this as my Cryptic Crossword Apprentice class for the week. I feel like I learned a lot and got to see a lot of examples of different kinds of clues. It's the hidden ones that what was the hidden violin? Tucked into ravioli noodles. I always miss these, so something I need to work on is always look for these hiddens. Violin is in the words ravioli noodles. Okay, thanks a lot for joining me. Please come back for more puzzling games, and I'll see you next time.